I mean, I can turn on body tracking, but because I vape, every time I pick up my vape to vape, my hand comes to my mouth, and it's really annoying. So I just turned off the hand tracking.
So
Yeah.
we come into a vape discussion. Fantastic.
Well, no, I was asking her what happens to the avatar. Like, let's say she would get up and walk away or something, or what have you.
It gets up and
Apparently
walks
nothing.
away.
So I was,
It
that's what
could.
that's what I was expecting. I was like, it does like the avatar just get up and dip? That'd be kind of funny.
No, the VTube.
I mean, I can make it happen.
Some VTubers have some really awesome avatars. I like Foxy's
do.
avatar. It's neat looking.
Yeah.
All right, man. So here we are.
Yeah, here we are, episode 82. Yeah, episode 82 of the Update Log. I forget. Yeah, it's right there. I should learn to read. But yeah, guys, I'm Rob, your host. This is Greg, my co-host. This is episode 82 of the Update Log. Joining us tonight are Foxy Project and Chloe, who are both friends and cast members on various of our TTRPG Let's Plays. I'm just going to call them Let's Plays because that's what they are. And tonight we are diving into character creation for the Walking Dead TTRPG made by Free League Publishing, based on the critically acclaimed graphic novel and TV show. At some point, I think they're going to make a movie. I don't know, though.
Okay.
I mean, it's just the like next progression, isn't it? You make a movie.
Sure.
I don't know. I don't know so much anymore with TV shows. They kind of just
True.
keep being TV shows.
True.
Yep.
I don't know. I think a movie in the Walking Dead universe would be interesting. Maybe not like a traditional in theater movie, but maybe like a movie. I don't know how to. I'm sure there's some like industry term for it, but like a movie more for like television.
Made for TV movie?
Yeah, there we go. Made for TV movie.
Like a limited series.
Yeah, something like that. I think that would be interesting.
There's a lot of
character creation. Or no,
yes.
Go ahead, Greg.
No, I was just gonna say there's so much out there already when it comes to the Walking Dead. I mean, that's why it's the Walking Dead universe, because you have right. You have the Walking Dead, the original series. You have Fear the Walking Dead. You have Those Who Live, which is the one where Rick comes back. You have Dead City. You have
that's like a mini series thing, right?
Yeah. It was just a limited series with 6 episodes. Yeah. Tells what happened to Rick after he left. So yeah.
So the show is called Daryl Dixon, and then the series when Carol comes back in, it's Daryl Dixon, the Book of Carol.
Yeah, the Book of Carol, and it's all about her and him. I haven't watched it yet. I plan to though.
I read a brief synopsis about what's going on.
Dark Pond says a Hallmark movie.
Hallmark.
A Lifetime original movie.
No, let's not go to Lifetime original. I grew up.
I mean,
that era, and my mom watched a lot of that. I hate Lifetime. Okay, it's depressing.
It could be a Hallmark movie. It would be a Walking Dead Christmas.
That would be an interest. That would be like a Shaun of the Dead spoof kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Shaun of the Dead's pretty good. I kind of like that one.
Shaun of the Dead. Hilarious. So fun.
So, Unholy Pawns Hallmark movie based in The Walking Dead. Girl flees the city back to her small town. Her old boyfriend is fortifying his grandpa's Christmas tree farm.
I think that's the start to a good story right there.
Yeah,
absolutely.
what is that Pride and Prejudice and Zombies,
Oh, I love that
where
movie.
they rewrote the Pride and Prejudice but with zombies in it.
Wait a minute. There's a Pride and Prejudice with zombies.
Yeah, so
You
it
haven't seen
basically-
Pride and Prejudice and Zombies? Rob.
I think
It's
I've
amazing.
seen clips. It's a little bit like I'm not too sure if I would ever get into it, but I thought it was a funny idea that it's just Pride and
I've-
Prejudice but with zombies.
I've watched the whole thing so many times I'm ashamed to admit. Love that movie.
Is
It's
it double
amazing.
digits?
At least.
Cheat.
I'm not gonna lie. It's a lot.
You might have a problem.
Well, we already knew that.
Fair.
There are romance zombie movies for sure.
Yes,
I
there
mean,
are.
like Warm Bodies. Warm
Mhm.
Bodies
Mhm.
it's basically Romeo and Juliet just with zombies.
Warm, but
Yeah.
Okay, you've
No,
never
no.
heard
We
of
need
Warm
to make you a
Bodies?
list.
Not so
Okay,
warm,
No.
warm
okay.
bodies. You know.
I
It
would.
worked.
I didn't expect you to know Pride and Prejudice and zombies, but you don't
No.
know Warm Bodies? Oh,
Ah.
man.
I'm not a huge zombie fan. I'm not like not a fan, but I'm not like a huge. I just once you've seen one zombie, you've seen them all.
Not true.
Wrong.
Wow.
Wrong.
Look,
Wrong.
man, I've seen Night of the Living Dead. I don't need to see anything else.
Wrong.
So wrong. Wrong in so many ways.
I think we found out who our first fatality is going to be in the series.
Probably.
I mean,
This
the rest of us are going to know how to survive because we've watched multiple zombie movies. Rob has only seen Night of the
Over
Living Dead.
multiple genres.
Oh no, I've
Indeed.
seen. I mean,
Maybe
I've
he's
seen
in
more, but,
Zombieland.
not only that, but I have watched Supernatural, so I know how to deal with zombies.
You deal with
And
everything.
Not the
And
same
angels
thing.
and demons and werewolves and vampires. I'm good. I'm set. Now all I need is a 1969 Impala. Go.
And rights to Carry On My Wayward Son. That's it.
No. I don't need
That's
rights
like
to that. I just need to play
the
that out.
iconic song.
I just need to play.
I think
play
Dark
that on the
Dark Pond's feeling bad about the fact that he saved your character.
should
I
have
should
pushed a
have
button.
Mhm. And then shoot him in the head.
Oh, I'm a huge Bruce Campbell fan. I've seen Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2, and I've seen Army of Darkness, and I've seen.
I
Ash
love
vs.
Army of
Evil Dead.
Darkness.
I've actually also played the PlayStation game. It was a PlayStation 2 game actually. Of the same name. Huge Evil Dead. Bruce Campbell is a gem.
He is.
He is, absolutely. So what are we here to
Fucking
talk?
boomstick, baby.
So what are we here to talk about tonight, Rob?
We are here to talk about character creation for TTRPG, The Walking Dead. But I guess we can kind of kick it off with let's talk about the archetypes. There are exactly 12.
Okay.
And before we kind of dive into them, which one's your favorite?
Ooh.
That's tough.
I mean, they all have good and
Yeah.
bad
I'm
aspects.
cheating, by the way.
Oh, you have an actual physical hard copy. Okay.
Yes, I do.
So do I.
I am
I'm
cheating.
like pulling up Roll20.
That's okay. You will have one soon for yourself.
Oh.
Well, and honestly, I think you could make a really stellar, interesting character out of any of the archetypes.
True.
Easily,
like-
because
Go ahead.
just because, like I said, they all have like good aspects and stuff that's just kind of meh. Like there's no single one that has it over and above every other one, in my opinion.
True. Yeah, I mean they tie certain things to each of the archetypes, because it makes sense, but it's not every one of them brings something. I would want to point out something though. I've noticed this in Free League's games, at least in Alien, now in The Walking Dead. They don't mind throwing kids, like the kid archetype, into hellish landscapes.
Well, it makes
think-
sense though. I mean, The Walking Dead had kids, and Alien
True.
had.
True. Yes, they
Yeah.
both did have a child as a character, which I don't know. Like,
That's sticking close to the realism of it, though. I mean, you know, sticking
Yeah, and I-
sticking
and I-
with the
I respect
series
that.
piece, right? I don't. Yeah, I have that aversion myself. Just FYI for most, I don't traditionally try to keep children out of the story.
Mhm.
same.
And that's just simply because I don't, just on a personal level, I don't think that, especially in a dark story like this, I don't think, hurting kids is a good story. I just don't. That's just me.
Yeah.
But so I
mean, you
keep
bring
that
up
out.
a good point. It adds to the realism, and in a situation like this, you can kind of shuffle them out of the way in like a situation like Alien, but like in a situation like The Walking Dead, it's a little harder because it's taking place in the middle of America.
Because children
Everybody.
exist.
Right.
Yeah, and exactly.
Right.
Children exist.
They're going to be there. They're going to be in the story. Even in an RP story, it's just it's what are your personal limits, and even with like the Alien movies, I mean, they never hurt kids. Same. I mean, I didn't. Well, no. Okay. The later
Alien 3.
versions. The later versions. They did.
Alien 3, they killed Newt right out the gate.
Well, yeah, but,
but she
they
also
didn't.
aged. She aged in the pod though, so she wasn't like a kid. Like she wasn't Kid Newt.
That's true,
Right, but
but
did
everybody
you-
knew Kid Newt.
Did
Yeah.
you see it? That's the
Yeah.
thing on Holy Pawn. Did you see it? It was implied. It wasn't necessarily, it's not like they made scenes out of this kid getting well, Alien versus Predator, they actually did opening scenes of that, one of the more recent Alien versus Predator movies. They starts out with a father and his son hunting in the woods, and they don't, the kid dies anyway. But
I think for me, my favorite one is Criminal.
that doesn't surprise me.
Ow. I don't know. The Criminal has a lot of potential for character growth, and you can be your stereotypical scumbag, and have redemption arc, or you can be maybe a criminal who's you weren't necessarily put in there for violent charges, and now maybe you have a second chance to turn your life around just in a different way than you thought. Plus, they get an axe and a motorbike.
Valid.
Solid, yeah. Axe and a motorbike, can't pass that up, right? I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you guys all go, because here's the thing. At this point, I've never actually played The Walking Dead.
This is true. Greg has not.
I've ran games, but I've never actually been a player. So
Yet.
some point here, absolutely. So what? How about you, Foxy? What's your you were saying? Which one?
I mean, honestly, and this is going to sound like a total cop out, but that's fine. I like the Doctor simply because I connect the most with like the main like ideas of that archetype.
Right.
And there is a lot of space to grow there,
Right.
or to deteriorate as a survivor. I mean, you've got somebody who has so much empathy and they're used to trying to save everybody. That's their job. And you get into a situation where you can't basically save anybody. Um, and how do you deal with that? How do you move on through life knowing that it's all gonna end horribly for everybody eventually?
Especially when you find out what they, the end result for everybody is.
Yeah.
Plus, your name's Dixon.
So
Well,
coming to terms with
Daryl
that,
Dixon.
right? Because if Daryl dies, we riot.
Yep.
I did see a picture of like the original Atlanta cast for The Walking Dead, and
Yep.
Daryl and Rick are the only two people alive from that group, from the original group.
Yep.
True. That is actually very true. Now that you mentioned.
I think I've seen that same picture out there. I think it's a meme somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know what would be my favorite. I think my favorite is the Homemaker. It's a really fun concept. It's interesting because like when you read some of this, like it doesn't read Homemaker, but it's based on a couple of characters from the actual show that was their main career before the end times.
Right.
But I don't know. Right now, my character is a nobody, pretty much. So, and that's kind of fun because it's based on Glenn. Glenn is the nobody, and so yeah. That was the hard thing, is going through and being like, oh, it's this character, oh, it's this character, and being like, how can I develop my own kind of character without falling into the tropes a little bit? So,
I think
but they're fun. They're fun to play with for sure.
I think there's I think there's really a couple of different ways to look at this. When people are starting a game like this, which is based on something that's cinematic, so you have all that background from The Walking Dead and all the spin-off series that are out there. You're either going to try to you're going to want to model a character after a character from the stories, or as with most of us, you tend to live vicariously through those characters. So you're going to want to create a character that you can personally relate to. In that sense, it's kind of like all the little things that are out there that you can take those online quizzes. How long would you survive during a zombie apocalypse? That kind of thing. And you can play that character in the Walking Dead universe. And this system, with the archetypes that are there, and here's the thing, you're not locked into, it's not like character classes, okay? So like a D&D setting where, okay, I'm gonna be a wizard, and then you're basically that's where you're at, or a sorcerer, or magic user, whatever it is. Your hit points, your limitations, everything's based on that class that you started out as. Now you can dual class and you can change class later on, stuff like that. But with this system, archetype is just a starting point. It is just a starting point. And in that sense, it reflects who you were, not who you are. So your character in the game is becoming what you want them to be. You know what I mean? What that vision is in your head of your survivor.
And the good thing, at least in my opinion, is that that's done through character experiences throughout the story that you're building, not based off of hitting a level, gaining some new skills or something like that.
Yeah, because you want whatever sort of skills or information that you pick up to feel natural to what your character has been going through.
Absolutely, and you have that opportunity with character progression, which I mean we can talk about that after a bit too, and how you progress your character in the system. That might be it's an interesting system to it, but getting ahead of myself. So I think if I was to pick one of these, I would have to say the farmer, because I like Herschel. So
Mm,
Right?
I think
who
that's
doesn't love Herschel?
I think that's a direction that I
I mean,
would
Herschel.
probably, go if I was creating a character for myself.
Herschel was the best. Was the best of them. He didn't deserve to die like that.
No, he sure didn't.
Neither did
Yes.
Otis.
Otis would be another one, but I
Neither
mean,
did
Justice
Otis.
for Otis.
what would Otis
Otis
be? That's the, you know what I mean. What do you
Otis
think
would be a
Otis?
farmer.
You think
He'd
so?
be a farmer. Yeah. Okay, he'd either be a farmer or let's see what we have here. He'd be a farmer for sure.
A soldier, maybe?
Otis was not a soldier.
Are you sure?
I know, but like, look at like, if I would
Doc,
find a way
yeah.
to solve this, I'm disciplined. I won't kill another human being.
Taco
I protect the
truck
weak.
driver.
Baptized. There you go, man. That's my character right there.
He'd be a taco,
Perfect.
He'd be a taco drug driver, you know. Yeah, that's the 13th archetype. It's coming in a later expansion. Taco truck driver.
Be crazy how
when
much
Holy
business
Pawns,
you
yeah.
had, because I mean, all you got to do is like open up the truck and start yelling, and all the people, all the walkers would come. I mean,
Oh god.
Yeah, but we all know walkers don't carry cash.
They don't.
Now, how do you know that?
They'll eat
I mean,
anything.
maybe they still had
I mean,
cash
they
on
might,
them when
but are
they.
you going to pick their pockets?
I'll take.
After you take them down, yes, I will.
They don't have if they have cash, no card. I don't know.
I know, and like all the internet and everything is down, so it's not like them having a debit card on them is going to do you any good.
No, Glenn was indeed a pizza delivery guy. Yeah. Yep.
That's how he could get from place to place so quickly.
Yeah, he knew his way around.
He knew everything. Yep. And Herschel would be a multi-class Doc farm. I think that sums up Herschel pretty well.
The thing with it is with this system, I mean, you can take your character in any direction that you want to take your character. And because your archetype, I mean, you could start off with an archetype of the farmer. It's just your starting point. And that's why I say Herschel be a farmer, because that's, that was his upbringing. That was, the family farm that they lived on. Probably had a lot to do with him becoming a veterinarian, because, he maybe lived around the animals and had that experience to begin with. Natural progression, smart guy wanting to, do his thing and do something that he understands and probably loves to do. So you could do that, or you could do it the other way. You could take the doctor archetype and then craft a farmer out of that. It's completely up to how you want to do it. So what do we have in our group? We have a nobody. We have for the
two doctors.
Two doctors. We have a criminal, and we have a soldier. Yeah, I think that's the archetypes that we have in the group as far as how the characters started. And then you get to watch that that character progression to see who they become. You know who they were, or you're finding out who they were. We have an outcast. That's you, right?
Yep, that's my character. Yep.
The outcast. I thought you said, well, see, criminal made sense, but I mean, outcast does too, I guess. You are not going to live that one down. Just so you know, be aware.
That's fine. Outcast, criminal, one can turn into the other. It's the same thing.
So
I'm seeing every time Rob pops on screen, the criminal starts playing.
We could make that happen. I mean,
passion. Yeah. Give me a motorcycle, man. That's all I'm asking for.
So what did you start out with your character in the series? How about let's just go there. What did you start out with?
In terms of what? Like, what do you mean?
Well, I mean, what did your character start out with? What type of equipment? Let's go there.
What type of equipment? All right, let me pull up my character sheet. start sheet. Okay, he started out with. Let's see. Scroll down, scroll down, scroll up. Pistol, a spear, ironically, and I think that's it. Oh, and he has the armor of cloth and old newspapers.
Armor of
Nice.
cloth and old newspapers.
Yeah, I don't know how well that's gonna do against the walkers, but whatever.
Well, the system itself is designed for you to start basically after everything's fallen apart. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, with what we did
you-
is we started it kind of right at the cusp of when things were starting to fall apart. So, yeah, we don't have anybody running around in old newspapers and rags. But who
Nope.
knows where they're going to end up? Maybe.
Nope.
Maybe eventually we'll find you running around and wrapped in old newspapers and rags. How
Look,
about
man, you gotta make do with what you got.
there you go. How about you, Nova?
Okay, so my character, she started out with a knife, pistol, an old park ranger car, because she's a park ranger. Was a park ranger. Okay. A sleeping bag, and binoculars. That is it.
It's a rough
And,
start.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And,
mean,
you know.
I don't know how rough it is. She got a place to sleep, even in a truck,
Right?
That's
Right?
sleeping
Her
bag,
car.
yeah, or a truck, whatever, car, truck. I mean, she's got protection.
It's definitely like one of those old Ford sedan cars. Yep. And it was when we first skirted the idea of playing The Walking Dead, I was really excited because I was a huge Walking Dead fan as a teenager. But also, I could bring back the basic concept of my alien character. I was very happy about because this character was really cool and I could only play her for 5
Yeah.
episodes. So-
Oh yeah, the alien character. I remember.
So
I remember that one.
I had a basic idea what I wanted, but then I also didn't want her to be Nova from Alien because she was a bit more friendly, happy-go-lucky. But in this universe, she's a little bit more cynical and like sarcastic, a little sassy.
Which is ironic, considering.
Considering,
Yeah, considering the alien universe is drastically more than The Walking Dead.
I don't know about that.
Look, I would put all of the walkers in The Walking against a couple of xenomorphs. The xenomorphs are winning, and you can't convince me otherwise.
I guess if that's the way you look, I guess if that's the way you looked at it, okay. Here's a curiosity for you, and this actually came up in conversation a couple weeks ago. We were talking about this, but just a question here. But could you have a zombie xenomorph?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even want that's nightmare fuel. I don't want to think about it.
Again,
But
I think the only way it would happen is if a facehugger infected a zombie.
Right.
I don't think
Can it?
it would be if a xenomorph got bit by a zombie because they can't bit, right?
I mean, you can bite them. Like their exoskeleton is not impenetrable. I highly doubt a.
2 teeth?
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna say I highly doubt a
But
walker's.
their blood is acid, so I mean,
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like the zombie has to survive the encounter. It just has
True.
to bite them.
I
Then
don't
its
think-
face is going to melt off, and it,
and it's gonna die again, I guess.
Well,
Gonna
yeah,
rebound.
because it would
maybe
melt
not.
through the brain
Yeah.
and it would die.
what's the thing about
I-
zombies though is they don't have fear, they don't feel
Yeah, I
pain,
feel
they don't need to
yeah, they don't
sleep,
care.
they don't need to eat, they don't well They don't need to eat, but yeah.
They want to eat. So I think they would look at the xenomorph like a tasty exotic snack. Like, you know what? I'm gonna go take a bite out of that. Probably be
I
the
don't
last
think they
thing
That
would
they
get
looks
do.
very
like
far.
shellfish.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks like a really big shrimp.
Oh
Wow.
man.
A really exotic piece of sushi over there. I'm gonna go bite it.
Ooh.
I
Thank
But
you.
yeah, no, I'm good. That's I'm now I'm wondering if somebody's like gonna watch this later on down the road from like the Walking Dead universe, or worse, like the Alien universe, and be like, you know what?
he's already in the
Well,
audience.
it's
What if?
it's interesting because spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Daryl Dixon, apparently there are versions of zombies in Daryl Dixon that have acidic blood.
Yes.
Well then, is that like in the new series, the Book of Carol?
Actually,
Yeah.
no, this is in season 1. Those are in season 1 of Daryl Dixon.
Yeah.
Are they? I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to go back and watch it then, I
Yep.
guess, because I watched it.
But this is like 10 years after the virus. No, more than
20.
10 years.
20 years.
20 years after the virus has started.
It's been 20 years. God damn.
Mhm.
20
Mhm.
years. Yeah, that's right. Because like the timeline wise, it was in 2010, right, when everything went to shit or started to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Hell shit.
with that, so we've talked a little bit about gear. We've talked about the the archetypes, and the
Some of them,
yeah. I mean, did you want to? We could talk a little bit more about the archetypes.
Did you say your favorite one? Oh yeah, you said farmer, right?
Well, I said I would be a farmer because
Be a
of
farmer.
my perception of Herschel. I
True.
would do farmer, I think.
Yeah, farmer was, and then
I
Foxy.
see. I don't know. Like we were
Doctor.
talking about before this episode. I mean, homemaker. I mean, if I had to pick somebody to be, I mean, if I wanted to pick somebody who's a badass survivor, think about it. Who is the baddest survivor in The Walking Dead? I mean, the baddest one. And people could have some different opinions on this, but I have mine.
There's two that are, I think, on par, and it's Daryl and it's Carol. Those two, they
But is Daryl really that much of a badass survivor?
yeah, in my opinion.
I think it depends on what you
Yeah, it
think.
depends on what
Because-
your qualification for badass
Yeah.
is.
Because honestly,
I
Daryl's
honest-
like.
Excuse me, I think Carol's far more ruthless. Like and
Yeah.
like
Oh, 100%.
I'm not gonna say violent, but yeah, in a way, violent. Because I mean, Daryl has no problems putting his hands on people, but he's more of a like that's if he's got to do it.
Yeah, I feel like Daryl chooses to try to go away from that because of his life experience prior to.
Yeah,
Whereas
he'll
Carol
go around
goes
if-
to that because of her life experience prior to everything.
Yeah, like Daryl will try to go around a threat if he can manage it. Unless they start threatening his people, then all bets are off. But Carol, like once you've made yourself known as a threat, she's gonna give you an option, and take too long, she's gonna make up your choice. She's gonna make up the decision for you.
Really,
Mhm.
you only have one argument that Carol's the best. It's fucking Terminus, man. What she did to Terminus was insane. It was so good. she blew up a gas tank and it blew up almost the entire facility.
I'm gonna have to go
And
back.
Oh,
See, now I wanna watch the
single-handedly-
It
show.
blew the gates open,
Single-
but
Single
gates open.
handedly.
yeah.
Single handedly. She saved. How many of them were there? All of them were there at one point.
All of them were there at one point.
Besides Carol. And Tyrese and
Tyrese,
the
yeah.
children. Yeah. But she was the one that got out all of those people in one day. By herself.
She did
Well-
some she had some character development.
And the
That's for
thing
sure.
is, Carol could make like the hard decisions, like with Lizzie. I mean,
Yeah.
okay, so she allows Lizzie to live because she loves her like a daughter, and everybody around her is going to be in danger.
Mm-hmm.
Or she puts Lizzie down and she knows that all of these other people are safe. And
Well,
that had to
that's
be a really hard decision to make in that moment just because of everything that she had been through.
which is
Yeah.
interesting because the whole reason she was in that situation was because she did the exact same thing with the people who had gotten the flu. She tried to eliminate the infection by killing two innocent people who were sick and couldn't defend themselves. And it didn't work anyway.
Yeah.
And it got her kicked out of the group.
Wait, was that before? Again, I think I stopped really watching around season. Was that before they figured out that everyone's carrying it? No, because they figured that out in like season 2, didn't
They figured that out at season 2.
they? Yeah, because
Yeah.
we went over this in the last episode. So yeah, they already knew. Wonder why she did that. They didn't just burn the bodies afterwards. I don't know. I
She
guess I'll
did.
have to
She
watch and
did.
see.
She
Well,
did
because
both.
if they're walking
Uh,
around infected with the flu and people are coming in to see them, more people are going to catch the flu
And then die.
and then die, and then put everybody else in even more danger.
But it
But
had already
everybody ended
spread.
up getting the flu anyway, so
Yeah.
so it was kind of a moot
Because this
point at that-
was
at that-
this was during the prison. So like there were lots of close quarters. It wasn't like
yeah,
Alexandria where it was you could like really quarantine and separate yourself out.
heroin
Right.
full shade. You never go full shade.
never go full Shane.
No, never go.
She got there. She got there for a little while. But she was smarter about it than Shane. Shane
I
was
went-
like outwardly aggressive and she was like, I'm gonna play the fun little the homemaker and pretend that I know nothing.
I'm gonna bake you some cookies.
Yeah.
Yeah, she got them with the cookies.
Wait, that's
Don't
yeah,
trust homemakers with cookies now.
that
Put
was
that on my list.
honestly that was good. That was good character development in the story. I mean, they did a fantastic job with that character, and the actress played it super well. Because that character, if you watch the series from the beginning, you would have never expected that.
Oh no. Yeah.
You would have
You
thought
wouldn't have
she would have been
expected
the
her
first
to
to go.
survive.
Yeah.
I think we're there, Dark
I think
Pond.
on Holy Pond. Yeah, I think we can agree she's the scariest. But in terms of survival, I think Daryl and her are on par. I think it just you have to determine the type of environment.
Daryl has more survival skills going into the apocalypse.
Yeah.
That's for sure. It's like he knows how to hunt, he knows how to track.
And I think what
No,
made Carol
yeah.
scarier than Shane was that Carol was smart.
Oh,
Mhm.
she was way smarter. Like again, she poisoned. Like she played stupid. People underestimated her. She poisoned them with freaking cookies. Would Carol die for Daryl? I think she would.
I think she would.
I think she
I-
would.
I-
Now,
much-
whether she could die is the question.
I think.
Well,
she
I don't.
would. I think they would die for each other, given.
I don't think
guess
it's.
the
I don't
right
think that's
choices.
isolated to Daryl, though. I think there's a lot more depth in that piece because I think Carol is that person who. Here's the thing: she's not going to just die willingly,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but
Mhm.
she is the one who, no matter what, would put her life on the line for the group, and she
Yeah,
would do so knowing that the risk was great to herself.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I think
I-
Daryl would do the same thing in some cases, but
I mean, Daryl has in some of the cases, throughout the series.
I mean, they both have. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they both have. I think that's the question answered. But yeah, I think you're right, Greg. Like neither of them would just like okay, just put themselves in a position where it's just gonna be an easy death, I guess. Like whoever's
If
gonna
they're
try
going
and kill
down,
him,
they're taking everybody else down with them.
yeah, whoever's gonna try and kill him, they got to work for that shit.
Oh, absolutely.
But they would definitely be willing to kind of cover the rear as we say. And if that got him killed, then hey, okay, well, them's the bricks.
Absolutely. So, tell you what, we're really yeah, I'm gonna move us over here. We're gonna try something different. I am gonna bring up a character sheet, and we're gonna create a character, and we're gonna we're gonna do something interesting here, because let's do this.
You want to randomize it completely?
Kinda.
I'm game.
I think each one of us should take one step as we're going into this. Each one of us should take one step. So one person names it, one person picks the archetype, one person decides on a description. And we can go through each one of these steps, and if the audience has some suggestions for each one of these, let's take that. If the audience has a suggestion on something, then we'll throw that in the mix. So add one more piece to it. We'll say, okay, names the simple one. So let's just keep that as one archetype. And I think we do it this way. First person in the audience to name someone in the show. So one of us, so it'd be Rob, Foxy, Moon Girl, or myself. You name who gets to pick the archetype. How's that sound?
I think we should save like the actual name of the character for the last bit.
There you go.
Yeah, we could say
once we find out what they're all about.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like you said, great. That's super easy. All
right, so let's do that. So members of the audience, all you just post one of our names, or we'll number each person off. So Rob's 1, I'll be 2, Foxy's 3, Moon Girl's 4. So just 1 through 4, and that person will get to name Wandering
archetype.
Do right. Okay.
Do right.
that's a maybe on there. Okay. Wandering. So 1 through 4, guys.
Wandering.
That person gets to name the archetype. In the meantime, 1 Unholy Pawn. All right, Rob, what archetype is this?
All right, I'm gonna even add some more randomness to it. I'm gonna roll a d12.
Okay.
Ooh, good call.
All right, let's see what the old dice say. The dice said 4.
7.
All right.
4?
So, yeah. Oh, 7.
It's
Never mind.
7. I was gonna be like,
I was looking at the wrong one.
All right.
See, that is the criminal doctor.
A nobody.
That's a nobody. Yep, the nobody.
All right, so this character, Dudley Do Right's going to be a nobody. All right, so description. Who's going to do the description? I see Infinity put a 9
kind of imagining.
In there, so you imagining? Go for it. Imagine away. What are you imagining?
So I'm imagining a character who was a little too far into like being a Trekkie, so he kind of walks around in a Starfleet uniform.
Yo, she said he's walking around in Starfleet.
This person is either truly from Boulder, Wyoming, or is not at all from Boulder, Wyoming.
That's funny.
Just the name, like it brings up the image of a uniform.
That's hilarious. He's walking around in Starfleet standard issue.
Is it a he though?
Could be. Could be a she.
We can save that one, because I think so. Okay, Wandering actually beat Holy Pawn to the draw there. So Moon Girl, is it a he or a she, or what is it?
Should I randomize this too? Coin?
That's up to you.
Okay. Even it's a woman,
Okay.
odd it's a boy.
Okay.
Boy.
So it's a man.
He
A male.
is a Trekkie. Walks
Oh,
around in
he's
a
a
Starfleet
Trekkie.
uniform.
The only
All
thing
right.
better than this would be if he was a Star Wars nerd walking around in robes.
A Jedi.
with a
Thinking he's a
the
Jedi,
lightsaber.
telling the zombies,
Fucking-
hmm
there's nothing to see here. Move along.
Yeah. This is not the human you're looking for.
Mind tricks don't work on me, only brains.
I
Ow.
don't know. I don't know. You know what? That'd be an interesting theory to test.
All right. So next up will be the PC anchor. Next character is his best friend. Okay. So, okay, is his best friend the anchor wandering? How about that? So the PC anchor will be his best friend? That sound right? Sound good?
I mean, that could work.
hmm
Now you know we have to create the best friend.
hmm
Yeah.
All right. So what is
Imagining a dude that walks around saying, "Well, actually."
actually? I could fill that role easily.
Oh my gosh. Are we just making a Eugene?
Oh boy.
Kind
Maybe.
of.
Oh
Maybe.
no.
We haven't decided if he has a mullet yet or not. So I mean, you know, there's still hope.
God.
I don't know if you can have a mullet in Starfleet. I feel like everybody was fairly well clean cut.
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. You're right.
Where's
You're
Jedi
right.
robes? Wandering, you'd be surprised.
Could just,
Jedi
you know, he could be that one guy.
No, I think he's saying the next character, his best friend, wears Jedi robes. That is their
Oh,
main
weird.
conflict as friends. Is one of them is a Trekkie, and one of
Oh,
them
One
is
of
a
them
Star Wars fan.
I
Mhm.
like where this is going. I like
So-
where this is going.
So there's two important concepts in the character creation piece, and that is the PC anchor. So the PC has to have something that anchors them in the here and now. That's kind of their reason for continuing to go on. And as you've seen in the series, if you watched any of the Walking Dead series, the characters in there always have that thing, you know, that like
Something or
for
someone.
right, and the thing changes. I mean, you know, as you go, the thing changes, obviously, for various reasons. I mean, for Carol, at one point in time, it was her family, and then it was what was left of her family, and then that was gone. So, you know, it had to move on to something else.
For Daryl, for example, was his brother initially, and there it turned into group as a whole. I think mostly it was group as a whole, but then it was mostly because of Rick, and then it turned to Carol,
Right.
or
Mhm.
well, Beth for a little bit, then Carol.
Yeah.
So
Until Beth got it.
So in the case of our boy here, it's going to be his best friend who is sounding like he's going to be a Jedi robes wearing alien
Star Wars fan.
Star Wars fan.
Mhm.
Okay. We'll yeah, that'll be great.
He could be Sith. He doesn't have to be a Jedi. He can be a Sith.
That's true. That is a very good point.
And then you have Drive. So, what do you guys want to tell? What is Drive, by the way?
I mean, Drive is one of the other anchors, right? Basically, what's keeping them going? You know, what are they trying to accomplish? What are their goals? Or
Mhm.
goal, it can be multiple or singular. Basically, the anchor is something that keeps them grounded into the particular group that they
Sports
find
car.
themselves in the goals. Something sports car,
Right.
man. I don't
So
know.
the-
Those roads in The Walking Dead were pretty rough. So
I guess I should clarify there are two types of anchors. So you have your PC anchor, which is another player character, and then you have your
Mhm.
NPC anchor, which we'll get to that one. So these characters that we are, I don't know if this is going to show up anywhere or not, but I did say that it is possible. So maybe,
never know.
And if
I mean, hey, if you spend your channel points,
Right.
You potentially
You
could play this character.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you can play this Jedi or Sith,
Best friend.
he's best friend who is just constantly arguing with this Trekkie who don't know nothing.
So, a quick example that they give for us in the actual playbook
Mhm.
for Drive for a nobody is I cannot be killed. This is my chance for love.
I think Glenn
I
thought
really feel
that
like
at the end.
this is my chance. This is my chance.
I was gonna say
Options are limited. Anyway. Oh no! And the tech issues got to hit me. All right. Let me get everybody back in here. And got you back, Chloe.
see the funny answer for their Drive would be intergalactic.
Intergalactic peace. Yeah,
Isn't
yeah.
that the whole thing about being a Trekkie?
That
You have
could
to maintain intergalactic peace.
that could definitely
I
be our
mean,
boy here. Intergalactic
You've
peace.
got to follow the Prime Directive.
True.
Okay, you really want to do that to somebody? We put that in there? I mean,
I don't know. I really feel like this is my chance would be an excellent drive for this dude. Like, he's been hanging around,
He's been waiting for a moment like this.
he's been waiting for his moment, and this is it.
Jesus.
Okay.
He's been saving up for this.
so do we just leave it at this is my chance, or do we say this is my chance for intergalactic peace or whatever? I mean,
This is my chance to be the hero. I don't know.
Yeah.
to be
Yeah.
This is my
the
chance to be Captain
hero.
Kirk.
Absolutely. Oh, there you go. That's better yet. This is my chance to be
Mhm.
the captain.
There we go.
Oh no,
Yeah.
and they can't kill zombies because it's against the directive to interact
With the native
Oh no.
I mean,
love
that's a
it.
smart. I mean, avoiding the native life forms would be wise.
Yeah, I mean, he's not wrong.
So-
You're not wrong.
All right, so NPC anchor, and this would have to be, just an NPC that's created in your story. Do we want to do a random?
I feel like Bob is this kid's uncle.
It's either his uncle or his
Bob's your
grandpa.
uncle. Yeah, Bob's your
Mhm.
uncle kid.
Uh,
Bob
You know what?
is
What would be even
your
cooler
Uncle.
is that one of old Bob's war buddies
You guys quick
was
pick 'em up,
also a
Bob.
member of this group, and he's the grandpa of the best friend.
Yep.
Oh
and,
no.
And Bob is the grandpa of the Trekkie.
Oh no.
Mhm.
I
Just
can't
generational,
imagine Bob as a grandpa though, and he doesn't have kids of his own, so
Well, he could be an absentee grandpa. You
True.
never know.
maybe he's a godfather. Maybe
Degrees
he's
of Bob,
really
yep.
he's
He's
really
gonna make him an
in the
offer he
closet
can't
Catholic.
refuse.
Yeah.
6 degrees of Bob. Everyone in the town is connected to Bob somehow.
I mean, realistically, it's a small town. Everybody's gonna be connected somehow. So
Maybe
Innocent, but he's
maybe
all about
Bob's a
killing
transplant though.
humans.
He's not really from this place. I mean,
Bob just
Really?
the best friend.
That's why it needs to be his grandson, because that's just so funny to me. I don't know why.
wandering man, you might just get yourself a seat on the stream if you want it playing now. With that comment, I love it.
Honestly, I could see that these two grandfathers are like literally having the only houses that are for some reason unmolested. Like it's like they plop the two houses right next to each other, and nothing bad ever happens there. They've got electricity, they got running water. It's like the apocalypse just didn't touch them.
It's
They're
like the
sitting out
farm
on
for a minute.
Yeah,
They're sitting out on their
porch with with a cooler full of Coors Light or some shit, just standing there watching
Talking
everything fall to
shit
shit.
about
Yeah.
their dumbass grandsons.
Yep.
I'm imagining the two guys in the balcony from the Muppets.
Pretty much, yeah. That's exactly what.
Yeah, they look like the
Yeah.
old guys from the Muppets.
Nope.
Wow.
Except they're yelling back and forth between their porches because they're both a couple of stubborn old goats, so they don't want to actually go to the other one's house.
Nope.
So they're
Nope.
yelling back and forth between the porches with their beers. Everybody can hear them, but they're pretending they don't care. So
Yeah.
They're
I was
fighting
about to say
over
they're
whose
pretending
lawn it
like nobody
really
else is hearing it. Mm-hmm.
Get off my lawn!
Well, you know, they moved that fence back in 1983, and nobody ever checked the boundary of the property,
Right.
and so it's a problem.
Yeah. It's something
They
they
have a
argue about all the
duplex.
time. Have a duplex. Split porches. Oh my god, that's fucking porches. Jesus. That's funny.
Well, we needed to fill this town with people, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
You got the crotchety old granddads.
I'm,
Dumbass grandsons.
so I think we've like discussed all the possible issues that could be had here. So I'm not gonna actually write anything in the issues.
I think he's also an idealist, though. He believes that, like, if you do good things will happen to you.
Oh,
Which,
absolutely.
yeah,
Dudley Do
the
right.
idealist.
yeah, he's got a
Dudley Do Right?
rosy outlook on life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he believes that if he does and says the right things, that the future that is in Star Trek will come to pass. That people
Issues.
will live in peace
Bob.
and everything will be great. Yeah, that's all you
Bob
gotta
is a
say. His
problem.
issues.
Hey, you never know. I mean, they don't really fully. There was a nuclear war or whatever that destroyed the civilizations on Earth that led to, you know, the little colony place that built the first warp drive. I mean,
Mhm.
there's room in that lore to like fit these two things together.
Absolutely.
Maybe. Could've been
100%. How
could've
you
been a
think we're going to
zombie
get rid of the
apocalypse.
zombies?
There you go.
Mhm.
Nuke them all. You know. Absolutely.
So we've connected The Walking Dead to Alien, connected The Walking Dead to Star Trek. What other universes can we connect to The Walking Dead?
That's next week.
Yeah.
Oh wow. All right, I think I would like overfill the character sheet if I put issues and notes in here, so I'm gonna leave those two blank. Let's go on down to the abilities. So who wants to kind of talk through how this works? So you have your core abilities right there at the top: strength, agility, wits, and empathy.
Mhm.
And then essentially what's underneath it is kind of like skills in a way.
You have a set number, right?
You do.
Sure.
You do. So I can't pull it up over there, and I, off the top of my head, cannot pull that number out for you. So let's go.
The
take a
only
look.
change that I wish they would make on the physical character sheets
Mhm.
is having those numbers like on the sheet.
Well, huh?
You have 13 points to distribute between attributes. Minimum value is 2, maximum is 4, except for the key attribute of your chosen archetype, which is a maximum value of 5.
Yep. And since Bob's a no,
And then you
I'm
get-
sorry, not Bob. This guy. Who is this guy again? Dudley Do Right?
Does that mean that
Mhm.
Bob's last name is Do Right?
No.
He had a daughter who married a do-right. Got it.
So what is the key skill for a nobody?
The attribute is agility. A skill is stealth.
Okay, tribute is agility. So do we want to make this guy's agility a 5? He's a super agile, Trekkie guy.
I mean, he's been training for Starfleet his whole life.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So there you go. Suddenly
This
it
is
all
too
makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like he's super agile and very smart, but not very strong.
Right?
He's kind of a Eugene, but he can get around, essentially. He's
Well,
more dexterous.
Okay, so do we really want to put a 5 in that key ability? Or do we want to lower that? And
I think we can keep it a 5.
okay. So what, agility and wits would be his 2, because wits is kind of your intelligence piece. I mean, it's kind of broken up because you don't really get. I mean, you could make an argument that okay, tech is in here, but leadership, kinda, medicine. You gotta at least think you're smart to do those things, right?
Yeah.
All right. So what are the other skills going to be? Where are we going to put the rest of these points? We got 11 spent.
I think tech probably being the next big one.
Tech, and so what are we putting in tech?
Maybe 2? Can we do 2?
I think 2 is probably the lowest you can put.
Yeah, well,
at the start of the game, you can't have more than 2 in any skill.
right.
Except for the main skill,
Which you can spend 3 points on.
which you can spend 3 points on.
And you have 12 skill points. So if we're going to go with tech being his main.
Make it a 3.
Okay.
Sure,
So
why
make
not?
that a 3. All right. So we have 9 more points for skills, and we have 2 more points for abilities. Where do we put the other 2 points for abilities? Audience, I think you're going to have to help us out here. Or Foxy has an idea. Go ahead. Where do you want to put it?
I feel like we should do 3 in wits.
3 in wits. Okay.
And then 3 in empathy.
3 in empathy. Okay. All right. Now we got 9 points down here. And wandering, saying mobility. So we got to put something in mobility. What do we want to put in mobility? 1, 2, or 3? No, you can't do 3. 1 or 2. Sorry. Only one skill can be set at 3.
2.
2.
All right. 2 it is. All right. So we have 7 points left. So far it's looking like this guy can't fight worth of crap. So, but he doesn't have to, right? Because Prime Directive, he can't.
He can run.
Oh, yeah. Is he stealthy? Can he hide?
Absolutely. Probably. I mean, he was a Trekkie. He definitely got picked on in high school.
Okay, so what are we... Wow. All right. What are we going to give him here? 1 or 2?
Let's start with 1. And then if we have an extra point at the end, we can throw it into stealth.
Well, and these skills are tied to this ability. So technically, by giving him a 1 in stealth, he's going to have 6 dice to roll. So I mean, that's pretty good. 1 in 6 at least to get a, I mean, you get 6 dice to roll. You got 6 opportunities to get a success. So
Yeah.
good stuff. All right. So that gives us what, 6? We got 6 more points to spend.
What is endure?
Basically that's okay. Endure would be
Grit, toughness.
yeah. It's like the mental side of force, in essence. I mean, what can you handle?
Yeah. Directly from the book, it says endure is your ability to withstand hunger and cold, as well as being able to march for long periods without rest. It lets you withstand poison and disease. In some situations, you may transfer any extra successes, other player characters or NPCs, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
So are we gonna give him pain or drugs? What? A squirrel.
Well,
Sorry.
I was just thinking of this dude was definitely bullied in high school thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's like sometimes, like even though it doesn't seem like it, you can develop a tough skin. But I don't know if that really fits in endure.
No. And I feel like most of the Trekkies I know have pretty thick skin anyway. So thick skin definitely tracks. Treks.
So where are we putting that at? Where do we want to reflect that? We could reflect that in manipulation or leadership. Leadership, maybe.
I don't know. I feel like he would have learned how to manipulate situations
Okay.
just to maybe get out of having bullies give him wedgies.
1 or 2?
So I feel like putting it in 1.
Oh, I was gonna say dos.
I'd say give him 1 in manipulation and 1 in leadership.
There we go.
All right. Teamwork makes the dream work, right? That's what's sad. I'm sorry. Shouldn't say things like that. 5, 8, 4 more points.
Yeah, let's bump up stealth to 2.
Okay. 3 more points.
It's definitely not skilled at survival.
I think he should have at least 1 in scout though, because that would make sense.
So since we have 3 more
Yeah.
points, each one of you guys gets to take one of those points and put it somewhere. Where are you putting your point?
1 in scout.
1 in scout. Rob?
I think I'm going to put 1 in.
You can put it
1 in endure.
Okay. I was gonna say you can put it in one of the ones that's already at a 1 if you want. I mean, and bump it up to a 2.
Ah.
It's up to you.
1 in endure.
Foxy, you got the last say.
I think I'm going to put 1 in close combat.
Oh.
Because he got picked on so much, he started kind of like watching YouTube videos on how to defend yourself from bullies.
No. Oh no.
He's like, Bruce Lee Jr. now.
He's like, I'll show them. Mm-hmm.
I also feel like this kid is Napoleon Dynamite for some reason.
Hey, if the shoe fits, right? All right. So now we talked quite a bit about the armor, do we want to this guy be dressed in what? Newspapers and So if we're sticking if we're sticking directly what's in the book, but here's the thing: we already determined that he has a Star Trek uniform. So I mean, that would have to have a little bit of armor value. I mean, maybe it just protects him from the cold. I don't know. Maybe. Anybody want to talk about how armor works in this game?
I mean, I'm not sure how much armor double knit polyester has.
Not much. It may give you a little bit of resistance, but
I mean, I would imagine the slip on that, they wouldn't be able to hold on to him very well.
True.
So it says when hit by an attack, roll a number of dice equal to the armor level.
Yep.
Each success reduces the damage you take by 1.
Yep.
On the other hand, the armor's penalty value is the number of dice you need to distract from any mobility skill rolled while wearing it.
So if you're wearing something heavy, it's going to have a negative effect on you. This is I mean, I would say this is light armor because it's, you know,
I mean,
Star
it's
Trek
barely
uniform,
armor
right,
at all.
right. Well, but it would give him at least 1 die. It would give him 1 die.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
get that opportunity that, hey, maybe this knife's a little dull, and the netting to your uniform kind of acts like Kevlar in a way, and
Or he's got sculpted like foam abs.
sculpted. Yeah. Okay. I can see
Got
that.
a little bit of like a padded, like he went all out when he bought his Star Trek uniform.
Oh, he bought
And
the
he got the
premium
one-
version.
He bought the premium version that gives you like the Spider-Man muscles.
Oh,
So there's
God.
it's like it's like foam padding. Not a lot,
that would
and
be funny.
he could move really easy in it, and because he's used to it, because he wears it all the time, he's absolutely used to what normal people would feel like it would be kind of restrictive, but he's totally used to it. He's
Wow.
He's
my
good.
Goodness.
That's like I'm almost thinking maybe we should give him more protection because of that explanation. I mean, you know, maybe it's a 2.
I feel like it would be a 2 because he's got a little. I mean, he's got some foam to him, so
Okay. Kind of hard to bite through that. I mean, you know.
indeed.
Yeah.
Have you tried biting through foam, Greg?
Not recently.
Oh man.
Hey, if you can't make
And the
your own, you gotta
strength
buy
of-
them, right?
I mean, they do that in movies. They absolutely do that in movies.
Mm-hmm.
So
All right, what are we
Yeah.
gonna give this guy as a weapon? And don't tell me a phaser, because yeah.
I was gonna say a phaser, man. Actually, no. Here's the thing. It's a phaser, but it's actually a universal remote that he's fashioned to look like.
All right.
It's not an actual
That's not
weapon.
really a weapon, though.
Look, you could throw that shit real hard at somebody.
I don't know. I also feel like this dude is like carrying around a slingshot.
Okay,
Yeah.
slingshot.
Yeah.
I'm
What is
not
he,
gonna
Menace-
I'm not gonna
Menace
write
now?
any of this in, by the way. Just
Taser.
FYI.
Okay.
A taser, that's a good one, Watering.
Taser.
Hey,
Yep.
I don't know how
Taser.
effective it would be against zombies, but a taser absolutely is in line with, I feel like, what this kid would have.
I don't
Well,
think
you're
it
right.
would work
Yeah.
at all.
a
on
taser
zombies.
that he's duct taped one of those little cat red dot lights to. So, you know.
Oh no. Oh, a taser that he calls his phaser. Yeah, that'll fucking do it. Shit.
It's Sheldon
Oh,
now. We're
man.
making Sheldon. All right. So, what would the damage be on that? I mean, how many damage dice do you think that would have?
Like one.
Oh, let's see.
Maybe.
Like one.
One. Exactly one.
So he could tase
'cause
himself
I
and
feel
be
like it would
perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm. He probably has to tased himself just to test it.
Make sure it works.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised they don't have a slingshot. But I'm guessing it might be the same as a throwing knife.
You
Just a
could,
one.
yeah, you could use the stats from that. I think there are some there are some expandable materials for this. So you have basic gear and basic beer, basic beer.
Basic bear.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
gets it from his grandpa.
Yeah.
It's Black Label. Anyway, so yeah, basic gear. You have some vehicles. You know, all the just enough to really kind of get you going. And you know, from there you can take, because the stats piece to it is very simplistic. You can pretty much make whatever you want with the stuff that you have. Yeah, it's very friendly in that way. You don't have to, you don't have to. It's not like Dungeons and Dragons in that sense. I mean, Dungeons and
But you
Dragons,
really gotta.
right? You really gotta put some thought and research into some things. So this
Especially
nothing
when
like
you're
that.
home broing.
Right. This system is created for story more than anything else. And I mean, just think of the stories we could tell with this guy. I don't know how long he's actually.
Think of the
gonna
story
live,
we've
but-
already told about him.
Right? He's got a whole backstory. He's got a grandpa out there.
He's got his own episode.
Yeah. He got his
Hey,
grandpa's friend.
Mm-hmm.
He's got
He
full
does.
muscles.
I think it's even funnier if Bob is his grandpa, but he makes him call him his uncle in public.
Wow. I get the sense that you really don't like Bob. I mean,
Roll for emotional damage.
Roll for most.
I love Bob. I think that's hilarious.
Bob loves.
No. Bob makes whatever this guy's name is call him uncle in public. But really, it's his grandson.
Wow. Yeah. So okay, let's go here now. Ethnicity. I know that's a tough subject, but what is this guy? Is he, your classic? I
mean,
is
could
he
we just
African
bring up a
American? Is
list
he
and,
European
like-
American? Is he Korean American? Is he, what is he?
Pull up a list and see how many
yeah.
numbers there are, and I will roll for that. shit, 'cause
Okay.
That sounds like
Yeah.
a fun.
I tend to agree with Unholy Pawn. He sounds like he's pretty fly for a white guy.
He definitely
Pretty
sounds
fly
like
for
a white guy. Definitely sounds like your stereotypical white guy. Look, man, if the shoe fits, all right. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying that our character here could be anybody. I mean,
Oh, he absolutely.
He could absolutely be everybody.
Exactly. I mean, when you are that special, I mean, who wants to like isolate that?
All right.
Okay, 1, 2.
Same as Bob. Oh, come on, Wandering. You're playing right into that whole Bob thing.
Hmm. Yeah,
Okay.
because we have to remember Bob doesn't actually have children.
14, but you could roll.
Roll. Whoop. Wow. Okay, so I just lost everybody again. Hold on a minute. Get them back in here. Okay. Got Chloe back. Oops.
Is it 3?
Is it a 3? What'd you get?
He's Native American.
Native American. That kind of makes sense because we already have 2 Native Americans here. I mean,
Mhm.
for the territory. I mean,
Yeah. That's
Okay.
funny. That's really funny.
you could do a lot with that. I mean, you really could.
Mhm.
That
Yeah, it is.
that
Absolutely.
could be really interesting.
Because then you
Oh,
get
yeah.
into Bob's backstory for sure.
Especially because his grandfather, who was also Native American, is roasting the shit out of him.
Bob's white.
Bob's white.
But that
Yeah.
doesn't. Well, I mean, it doesn't mean that they couldn't be. Maybe. Who knows?
Maybe
He
Bob
could have
had
married
a child and
Yeah.
then not necessarily abandoned his family, but didn't realize he had family until his grandson came and found him.
That's where I was going. I mean, Bob's a Vietnam
Oh,
vet,
that's interesting.
so I thought
Mhm.
maybe Bob does have a kid, just doesn't know it.
Just doesn't
Yeah.
realize it.
Bob had a girlfriend and got sent off to war, and she never told him.
Bob had
that
a
she was pregnant.
girlfriend. Bob had a girlfriend on the Reds.
And he
Yep.
never came looking. Came back. I was like, you know what? I'm good where I'm at.
Or maybe she told him, like, he went to find her after he got home from the war, and she was like, I don't need you. I don't
Right.
need your BS. And she kicked him out and never told him that she had his kid. And then, 30 years later, here shows up Dudley Do Right saying, I'm your grandson. And of course, Bob's got to deal with that deep in his soul. Really hard for him because he doesn't handle change very well.
I see a drinking problem on the horizon.
For Dudley or for Bob?
Bob. Maybe Dudley too.
I
You
don't
never
know.
know.
I don't think drinking is a problem for Bob. So I mean,
I don't think so either. I think he's got it well in hand, both
Let's
hands
put
most
it-
times.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe Dudley might develop one himself.
Let's
All
hope
right.
not.
Well, we didn't. I didn't record a bunch of stuff in here. I think we'll leave the gear piece and whatnot for when this character potentially actually goes into play. I mean, we'll keep it as
Mhm.
a backup idea. And
It's an interesting one.
well, yeah. I mean, if somebody wants to play this, I'm all for it. I might throw him in there as an NPC at some point here.
I love this dude. He's adorable.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
yeah.
and that's even more why Bob asked him to call him uncle in public, because he doesn't want people to know.
Yeah.
And he has a grandson.
But he has kids and a grandson out
Uh-huh.
there in the world. Yeah, that totally makes sense.
Is
Well,
that
he might have kids because his son might act, or daughter or whatever. If whoever the Dudley's parent is could be dead.
So
All right.
the question is should it be Dudley or should it be Dewey? I also like Dewey Do Right.
Okay. Doesn't matter to me.
Dewey,
I
right.
took Wandering's name. I was going to
Yeah.
ask him if I spelled it right, to be honest with you. But Dudley, is that all right with you? Is that all right with everybody? Dudley?
I like Dudley.
All right. How do you want to spell Dudley?
Just how you spelled it. Dudly.
His middle name could be Dewey.
Dudley.
Dudley Dewey Do Right.
They could just Dewey could be his nickname
Dewey could be his
Dewey-
nickname.
Dewey
Yeah.
is
because it
Okay.
he
Yeah, well,
reminds
look-
people kind of Dewey from Scream.
All right. Y'all got to make
Yeah.
up my mind. Dudley?
No,
Dudley
no,
Dewey?
it is. I
It is
agree
Dudley.
with. I agree. It's
Dewey.
Dudley is his government name, but Dewey is his nickname.
Okay.
Mhm.
Because his other
Oh.
nickname would be Dud. And
Yeah.
that just sounds wrong.
Dudley. Dewey. Do right.
Oh.
All right. There we go. How about that? Look good?
Oh my God.
Yeah, we just call him Dewey.
All
he
right.
was
Love
sent to his granddad's house, or rather, he found his granddad, and it was over the summer. So now he's
So-
kind of stuck with it.
If it's a copyright thing, let's do, instead of how you have it spelled, Doeright. So it
Uh,
sounds like do right, but it's spelled do right.
Just don't. No, I think
we just call him-
Wandering
we
is
just call
saying
him Dewey.
Don't call him.
Okay, we could do something different. I mean, this is There.
Yeah.
How
I
about
said we just
do
call
right?
him Dewey.
Dewey. Dewey, screwy. Interesting alliteration there.
Dudley Dewey Do Right. All right. So now we said we were going to create his friend.
No,
Mhm.
this the most important question we have to answer first is if he's he actually a Jedi or is he Sith?
Okay. Hold
Mm.
on. We can. You caught my interest. What is he? Is he a Sith or a Jedi? What does he
I
think
think
he
this is
is?
a coin flip thing.
Yeah, who wants to roll, odd or even?
Call the
I don't have a roll option for the
even
chat to
is
do it.
Jedi, odd is Sith.
Yep.
So okay.
That is an even. He is indeed a Jedi.
Isn't yep, he's a Jedi.
Jedi Knight.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Jedi Knight.
There we go. He can be the Jedi Knight.
No, this is Dewey's best friend.
This is Dewey's best friend, yeah.
Oh, Dewey's best friend is the Jedi Knight?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh. All right. I completely okay, let me change that.
Yeah, because Trekkies wouldn't walk around as telling people they're a Jedi Knight.
Okay. All right. So, what's Dewey's best friend's name?
Jed.
Jed.
Jed. Jed.
Yep.
Jed. Jesus Christ.
No, not Jed. Judd.
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 Yeah, Judd the Jedi. Absolutely.
Oh my.
His
Okay.
name can't be Jesus Christ. That would be wrong.
Judd the Jedi. All right.
Oh my god.
I am just gonna. I gotta put that in parentheses here.
The Star Wars fan in me is cringing so hard.
The
right now.
Jedi. All right.
Well, exactly. Unless his real name is Jedediah. For
Jedediah.
sure.
Oh no. Oh no.
Okay, so Rob, as a Star Wars fan, what archetype do you feel like we should give Judd?
Or are we gonna roll randomly?
I gotta look.
I don't know. I
let's
feel
see.
like we gotta.
Ooh, definitely the outcast.
Oh, come on. That's too cliche.
Yeah, I
It's
feel
the
like
only one that fits, really. But okay, let's.
I don't
see.
know. I
But
kind
he
of feel
could
like the
be-
politician.
Or even
Or what? And I lost them again. Hold on a minute.
interesting pick.
There we go. Something's a little spotty here tonight, and I keep dropping you guys. Sorry about that.
Politician and outcast
There
I
we
can
go.
see because they were at one point actual
The
politicians.
Jedis aren't preachers? What?
No,
It's
They're
a
not preachers.
religion. It's a legit religion. In the United States.
in universe it is not a religion. In universe it is not.
But in the United States of America, it is an actual religion. And you're telling me
Yeah,
this kid
I know.
who loves Star Wars wouldn't be a part of that religion?
Well, if he loves Star Wars, he wouldn't. Because Star Wars, like Jedi are not. They're not. Not like a
But-
religion.
I would argue with a name where his government name is Jedediah. He is an ex-Mormon kid for sure.
Fantasy
He's
Star
an
Trek.
ex-Mel.
That's a fair point.
These guys would be.
This is
I
no,
like.
this is 2010.
I like that Dark Bond
This-
fantasy convention. These guys are holed up at the Motel 6.
No, this is 2010.
Yeah, it's 2000.
Well, that's okay. They leave the light
so-
on for you.
Yeah. All right, so we have three standout archetypes: the outcast, the politician, and
All right, roll for it, Rob.
Okay. Let's see. Unfortunately, there's no D3, so I rolled a D6. We'll divide that by. I rolled a 6, so
3. What do we say?
Yep.
Outcast, politician,
Politician
or
or
preacher?
preacher.
preacher.
Mhm.
He's a fucking preacher, man.
I guess
Of
preacher.
course
then.
he is.
Preacher? Okay, preacher.
Yeah, I guess preacher works.
All right. I was going to suggest making him a scientist, but okay.
Nah, I would feel like the Trekkie would be more of a scientist.
All right. So we have Judd the Jedi preacher. All right, and let's just take a look at the preacher really quick, since we're making somebody with this archetype. Let's just see what it says about this archetype.
It says people will believe in all sorts of silly things. Stones, energy fields, or spirits jumping from body to body. We even met a group who worshipped walkers. They had a bunch of them holed up in an old boxing gym. A fellow man of the cloth, though what deity may have anointed him, I cannot say, stood in the ring and threw flower petals at the corpses below, their arms stretched out for communion. I guess it should make me humble, as it suggests that any belief is as good as the next, but I am not. There's only one God and the one true church. Soon, the day of reckoning will be upon us. I will lead my flock to the gate of heaven.
May the force be with you.
May the force be with you.
See, issues would be potentially
Delusional.
afraid of conflict or selfish. Thrive is I walk with the Lord, make amends, or these are the final days. And I think what's even more funny is that for options for gear, there is a guitar and a scooter.
Yeah. So he could be a banjo playing, scooter riding Jedi.
I think him having a scooter is just too funny.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, he and Dewey have to get across town quickly somehow, and he's got a scooter.
All right, so what drives this guy?
I think being a Jedi Knight, he'd want to protect people, right?
Sure. See, but not all people that are on the dark side are Sith.
Yeah, they are.
No, they're not.
Yeah, I mean, if you can use the dark side of the force, you're a Sith.
No.
Like almost all of them.
Sith is a race.
Yes and no. Started out as a race, but it became a ideology. Yes, they are actually a Sith race. They're the red peoples, and then eventually they get wiped out.
So what's
Okay,
his...
now the real question is, how do we connect Star Wars to The Walking Dead?
That's next week, remember?
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
We get confused sometimes.
Was adopted by
Right?
bad Jedi.
Adopted by a bad Jedi.
I mean, there are plenty of those.
You know he's not Bob's other long lost kid. This is my brother Daryl.
No, this is
My
his.
other brother
This
Daryl.
is his buddy, his old war buddy's kid.
Yep.
Grandkid.
Gotta be careful there, because that might make him related to Astrid.
Oh no. They are the gray Jedi. I wish that was actually canon. It should be, but we're not going to go there. It's a whole
All right,
different episode.
so what drives this guy? What's the driving force behind this guy?
All right, do we want a joke one or like a legitimate one?
So I feel like we could tweak some of the drive options that are listed under the preacher for this
Oh,
guy.
yeah.
So the options are I walk with the Lord, make amends, or these are the final days.
He's a Jedi. The Force guides him. He does the will of the living Force.
I mean, the force is in everything. It flows through us. It
Yep.
binds us.
That's a joke one. Like,
There
But I mean, there are people who sort of
are people who
truly
believe that.
feel that way.
yeah.
Because yes,
So what
Jedi
would
so
what,
much.
the three options they give for issues are afraid of conflict, delusional, and
Delusional.
selfish.
Delusional, absolutely delusional.
Mhm. Absolutely.
He's had some kind of mental break. I think they both have since the world collapsed, and like they're just really leaning into their respective fantasies
Fandoms.
there. Yeah,
Because they had
that's all they got left.
because they took so much time of like the time before trying to avoid the bullies and trying to make the bullies like them, and now the bullies are kind of gone and they don't really know how to cope with that
Yeah.
Maybe
or how
his
to deal with
drive.
it.
Maybe his drive is just these are final days.
It makes it both.
Hmm.
Well, I feel like make amends would also be interesting, but I just don't know where that would fit in this
Yeah,
story.
who is
Now
he
these are
making
the final
amends
days,
with?
so make amends.
Maybe.
Yeah, who is
Walk
he
with the
making amends with?
force.
Walk
Make
with the
amends
Force.
because these are the final days.
Yeah, at least it's not I am your father.
That's kind of make amends, isn't it?
She's delusional for sure.
Oh God.
I also think it would be funny if his underlying issue was that he was really afraid of conflict.
I mean, Jedi do avoid conflict, and they can.
Well, I mean, he
Mhm.
could
This is
have
true.
more than one. I mean, we could do that.
I try to avoid conflict.
He screams like a girl and runs away.
Especially when his Jedi mind tricks does not work.
Like John. I don't know who that is. I feel like I should know who that is. I don't.
Is that a men?
Of Mice and
Men in-
Men?
Is that a Men in Tights reference there?
Oh,
Oh, that was your first character.
Is that the other character? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Bob says, "I'm your grandfather." Oh,
come to
no.
the dark side, you young punk. Get your ass over here, boy.
Cracks a beer and hands it to him. Jeez. Okay. What's
All right.
next for
Well,
Judge the Jedi?
let's jump down to let's give some skills to this guy, because yeah, we need to do something for him, because he's pretty pathetic so far. All right.
Okay, so the key attribute for the preacher is empathy.
It is. So let's do this. There are, so everything on here is at a 2. So you got 8 points already. That leaves us with what, 5 points? So let's take 1 point each for you three, and then the audience gets to distribute the last 2 points for abilities or attributes. And all you need to do is name strength, agility, wits, or empathy with a 1. And we'll add a point there. In the meantime, while we wait for the audience to do their thing, let's start with you, Foxy. Where do you want to put your point?
I want to put in an empathy.
Empathy is our 3. Okay. Moon Girl.
Hmm.
Oh, there's another
Let's
point
put
for
it-
empathy. go
Let's
ahead.
put it in strength.
Strength. Okay, audience still has 1 point, and Rob, you have yours.
I'm gonna put mine in wits.
Wits. All right, audience, you still got 1 point to put in one of those 4 things. First person to call out one of those 4 things is where it's going to go.
Wandering said empathy.
Yeah, I counted his already.
Okay.
Agility. Okay. There we go. This guy is more of a jack of all trades here. 3
Mhm.
strength, 3 agility, 3 wits, and 4 empathy. 9, 13. Okay, so now we have 12 points to put into skills. I think it breaks out great if each one of you guys do 1 point, and then the 4th point is the audience. How's that?
Okay.
All right. So let's
Alright.
just start with you, Rob, and we'll circle right down.
I'm gonna go with manipulation.
Okay, 1 point manipulation. Okay, Foxy.
I'm gonna go with tech.
Point tech. Next, Moon Girl.
I'm gonna go manipulation too.
Okay, so manipulation's now at a 2, so we can't put any more there. And Infinity Core says 1 for force. All right, so that gives us our first 4 points. Back up to you, Rob. And audience, you get to you get 1 out of this set of 4 points as well.
We're gonna do 1 point in close combat.
1 point in close combat. Okay, Foxy.
One point in stealth.
Point stealth. Moon Girl.
Leadership.
Point in leadership. All right, and audience, where do you want to put your 1 point? First person to call one of these out, that's where it's going. Another point in force. There we go. So 2 points in force now. Okay, and the last set of 4 points. Rob.
I'm gonna do another point in close combat.
Okay, so this guy's gonna have some fighting skills. All right, Foxy.
He's watched a lot of YouTube.
Mhm. I mean, what did they have to do while they were sitting around the house? They were watching YouTube
35, bro.
and learning how to defend themselves. I feel like a point in mobility
All right.
because he's had to, keep up with Dewey.
Yeah.
And he has a scooter. So.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have to work quite so hard to keep up with Dewey, but he still has to keep up.
Well, he's got 1 point tech, so I mean, All right, Moon Girl.
Torn. I want to give him another point in leadership, but I also think it's really funny if he has 3 in manipulation.
He can't.
So we're
It
gonna do
only-
manipulation.
Oh yeah, he can. That's his main one. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
3 it is. All right. All right, audience.
Maybe his Jedi mind tricks actually do work.
Mm.
Last
Yeah.
point. Last point is for you. I don't know how you can manipulate a zombie, by the way, or a walker, by the way, but yeah. I mean, maybe.
You can manipulate the people around you to take care of the walkers for you.
Yeah. Yeah. What does that mean, though? Take care of the walkers. I mean, is that like
Yes,
the
but he
little
has a
girl at the
inhaler.
prison, feeding them rats or
My man
medicine?
has an inhaler.
All right, medicine it is.
He
All
has
right.
an inhaler. We have to make that canon.
That's why he has the scooter.
Yep.
Scooter and a inhaler.
He has really bad asthma.
Mhm.
Oh no, that's
So
a
it's-
death sentence, guys.
So it's not even really albuterol. It's the next thing up from that, right?
Jesus.
All right. This guy looks pretty well rounded to me. I mean, you
Yeah.
know,
He actually might survive the apocalypse.
a little while. No range
Despite what
skills.
it's-
Don't let him near any guns. But
Yeah.
all right. So what would this guy have for armor or clothing? According
He's
to
totally rocking Jedi robes.
Okay. Well,
And they're
according
not like actual Jedi robes, like ones you can get off Amazon. They're like, you know, those like old 50s and 60s pajamas that he just kind of like cut up and refashioned to look like Jedi robes. And he's wearing a bathrobe.
Okay. Is it a super fluffy bathrobe? Because that
Oh,
would
it
give him
is.
a little more protection.
and velvet
Absolutely
slippers.
super fluffy. And yeah, and velvet slippers.
Oh,
Yep.
wow. Okay.
That's all he
Gonna
had
be
to work
hilar-
with.
It's gonna be hilarious when these are the two guys that that survived to be from the original crew.
Oh my
Mhm.
god.
It's like the lone gunman from the X Files.
We
Yep.
we really are creating Shaun of the Dead version here.
Oops.
Just gotta find a good pup. So what about weapons? What do we give him for weapons? What would you give him for weapons?
Let's see.
I mean, he doesn't really have. He's got the options for what the preacher would have in the book, and these are just options for what they would
Suggestions,
right.
yeah.
So a Bible, homemade spear, guitar, the scooter, iron cross, and wine and altar bread.
Okay, so
Wow.
I think he would have one of those really super high quality lightsaber replicas
Oh, absolutely.
that
That's where all
he
his
could
money
use
went.
to like beat things. I mean, he could actually like hit things with it and they would go down. 'Cause some of those
Uh,
things are really like
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Some of them
hardcore.
some of them actually like, you know, you get slapped with one of those, it's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So,
that's
but it
that's
still
why he
lights
has
up and
shitty
makes all the
robes.
noises.
Until
That's
it
why he has
runs
the
out of
shitty robes.
batteries.
Some of them are rechargeable.
Hmm
Until they run out of electricity.
You think this guy doesn't have solar panels hooked up at his house?
And here's the thing:
Solar powers.
when it finally does run out of juice, he makes the sound effects with his,
there-
with his
yeah.
mouth.
Absolutely.
Where did the
Wow.
weapons go? So essentially, it's like a quarter staff, right?
Or less.
Pretty much, or like a bat. I
Yeah.
don't know if it's heavy enough.
Yeah.
Well,
I
some
feel
of,
like a
some of them
quarterstaff
are-
is
quarterstaff is close enough. And
Quarterstaff?
yeah, wandering. Yeah.
So
Ray
I'm
Park
just-
can break a lot of them.
I'm just thinking like stats wise, it would be similar
Yeah,
to a
I feel like
quarterstaff.
quarter-
Yeah,
staff.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, again, I'm not going to put any of the gear in here. We'll let that be. We'll
That's
leave that out.
funny though.
You know what we
That's where
didn't
all his
do on the
Christmas
other
stuff
one
went.
is we didn't do talents.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
So we should do talents for this guy. We should take a look at what the possibilities are for talents.
Let's see. Preacher. So, talents for preacher is shepherd. Anyone can use you as an anchor when they need to relieve stress, even if you are not their anchor. Guarded by a higher power. When you roll a random die to see if you are hit or bitten, you may re-roll once.
That's our boy, I think, right there.
Yep,
Mhm.
this is the will of the Force.
The force
Or
is
preacher
with him.
gain +2 to leadership when you try to sway your group of people.
Ooh, that one's a good one.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jedi mind trick all the way. Let's go with that one. That's a good one.
100%.
Yeah, then you add his manipulation skills on top of that. I mean, this guy, like, he could probably fool people into thinking he really had something going on.
Mhm.
And then, did we do that? You could pick 2 general.
No, we didn't. But I mean, you could. What would you pick for general for this guy? What are the general options?
Okay, so there's quite a bit. There's animal companion. I won't go through like the full like explanation.
Gotcha.
There's center of the storm, eagle eyes, health nut, herb collector, ice in the veins, intense eyes, marksman, martial arts expert, 9 lives, obsessive, uneasy street, pack mule, pet keeper, which has to do with chaining walkers, psychopath, sensitive, skullcracker, specialist, or sprinter. Oh wait, and there's more. Surgeon, unbiteable, unbreakable, and whisperer.
Ooh. I know. What do you think? So 9 lives. He gets when rolling for critical injury, you may decide which of the dice represents the 10s and which represents the 1s. Which that's a pretty powerful little deal right there.
And very Jedi mind tricky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Rather than rolling a 61, you could roll a 16. Choose to roll 16. Or vice versa.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, I think that's a good one.
yeah. So everything in this game is done with d6s. So when you roll for like if you're fighting the undead, that's pretty much all they do is roll on the attack. So and it's not if you get hit, they roll 2d6 and then essentially that determines what happens. And you want the lower the better. Higher numbers can be pretty nasty, all the way up to almost instant death. So what do you think? 9 lives. I think that one makes sense to me, but
I like it.
Mhm.
okay. And he gets 2 picks.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like specialists gain +2 to a specific skill when you use a specific item. So decide what the item is and for what skill you get a bonus.
His
So
lightsaber and
his
plus
lightsaber.
Lightsaber and manipulation. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Look, we created the shtick. We gotta lean into it.
Manipulation or leadership, though. Oh wait, no, he has the leadership one, right? Yeah, he has.
He has manipulation and leadership, and he has
the preacher.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So he's got 7 dice in manipulation at this point. He has a 4 empathy.
If he uses his lightsaber to manipulate people, he gets a +2.
Yep.
9 dice.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Okay, that
Oof.
sounds fun.
I gotta go wash my.
This dude is going to be a cult leader by the end of this.
Yep.
Hey, man.
Dewey's his
Look.
muscle.
Yeah. He's
Or that'll be the conflict between Dewey and
me.
Judd.
Hopefully
Jedediah.
Judd doesn't go full Shane.
Maybe. I was hoping that.
Ah.
Then he'd be a fallen Jedi. He would be a Sith.
Hmm. That could be his
That's-
path.
That's his entire arc right there, man.
Oh no! Oh no!
All right. So unfortunately, I think that we have hopefully somebody got something good out of tonight. But that's the basics to character creation.
Yeah.
I feel horrible even saying that.
And they could be as wacky as you want them to be.
That's
we
true.
just show. We just showed you.
Well, and as
They
goofy
can't be.
as we made some of these characters, I really feel like you could have some really good character arcs and some excellent story telling
Yeah,
with these two
yeah.
characters. Because let's be honest, we all know these guys. That's why it's so funny.
They were on their way to Fanex in Salt Lake City, and they got
Right.
trapped in Wyoming.
Maybe there's some of the other guests in the Boulder Inn.
Yeah.
Very possible that that's the case. All right, guys. So we're coming up on 2 hours. So that was a lot of fun.
It definitely was.
I seriously hope that people. Hopefully that shows you the versatility behind it. I mean, we had a lot of fun with this, and we created just a couple characters that are completely off the wall, and we didn't prep or plan any of that. It's all live as we did it. I don't know how we could have possibly prepped or planned any of that ridiculousness, but it was good.
Yeah, because we probably would have planned something more serious for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And I think maybe at some point we could talk about how we made the characters that we're playing now.
Yeah.
Right.
Just because, sorry, go ahead.
Well, we kind of start out that way, but I mean, if you want to talk a little bit about your character, I mean, that kind of, we're gonna do a little plug for the series anyway, so we might as well just do that.
So when I started kind of planning my character, I went with the type of person that I wanted to be, and then went through and picked an archetype after I figured out who I kind of wanted her to be before everything happened. Here we were kind of going with, okay, we're going to start with an archetype and go from there. But I kind of did it the opposite way because I wanted to portray a character that I felt I could be comfortable with and who felt familiar to me, that could have a good character arc and could grow throughout however long she gets to survive in this crazy world that we're living in now. And then I sort of informed what choices I made under the archetype from, okay, what would she have learned in her life? And is whatever skill or issue or drive that I'm picking, does that make sense for the person that she is?
Right. Awesome.
What about you, Moon Girl? How did you create your character?
So I went into that a little earlier about wanting to bring back the character from Alien and kind of trying to see how she would fit in this universe, and that's kind of how I ended up picking the archetype as well. And I like this idea of like, what would happen if you were in a national park at the end of the world with zombies, walkers, I should say. And so that's why I was like, okay, she's a park ranger. So where does that kind of fit into everything? So
I'm going to disappoint all of you. I'll have this whole intricate thought process, and I just let the dice decide.
nice.
That's one way to do it, though. I think it's.
I decide. I'm like, okay, what y'all want? And
start rolling. This is what I got.
Daniel's bobbed out, yeah.
Well, and I feel like every kind of character creation is valid. It's all in what you're comfortable with.
Right.
Well, and we kind of helped you develop that backstory a little bit because, like, we know that he got stuck rock climbing, so we know he's an outdoor bro. And we're like, where would this guy? Well, that's like, where would this guy come from? And we're like, Salt Lake City, Utah, because he's an outdoor bro. Because there's two type of men in Salt Lake City.
I rock climbed, and I'm definitely not from Salt Lake City.
That's what we decided.
Look, I'm trying to justify his character's life choices. Calm down.
Ooh.
It's okay.
Peace.
Right?
But yeah, so that was my whole thing there. I just let the dice decide. Now I get to play them out in the world.
Sometimes that's fun because then you don't go in with an expectation for character.
Hmm.
And you kind of do what we just did now of like, okay, who would this person be then?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Which, I mean,
100% for randomizing your
Mhm.
character. 100% for that. As that's, it challenges you. You're gonna tailor it to some degree to be, the headcanon that you create. But why not? Play it, it doesn't, you don't have to think about it strictly from the standpoint of what is the ultimate character for survival in this game, or whatever the game is. You don't have to think of it that way. Think about it as, okay, what would be interesting and challenging at the same time, and how would this Jedi guy survive? And I would play that character any day. I'd play that character. Sorry, I cut you off there, Foxy. Go ahead.
I have no idea what I was going to say, so it's all good. I squirreled out, so
Yeah, I don't know. I just have this vision of this guy actually making it pretty far and he becomes like this crazy cult leader. For
absolutely.
sure.
Some of the best characters kind of turn out that way. I think some of the best NPCs are not necessarily planned. You know what I mean? Not planned into the adventure. They just kind of happen. There's something
Like
that you...
Bob.
Yeah. Well, Bob is a perfect example because that was I definitely did not plan Bob into the adventure. That just kind of happened. He was put in there to be a filler for that particular moment, and suddenly he's become more than that. So
Bob got drafted into the central story.
he did. He did.
He's familiar with that.
He is indeed.
Yes.
No, and I think
Yes,
I remember what I was going to say. I think a lot of it depends on how comfortable you are with role play, because I'm fairly new. I mean, I've been playing D&D for almost a year, but I played one character.
Right.
So making sure that I was comfortable in the character that I was going to portray and bring into this world was important, whereas other people have done more gaming are more comfortable just being able to roll up a character and wing it, which I think is a fantastic skill, and I hope to hone that skill more moving forward. But
Practice.
mhm.
I practice.
And make
Get
sure
easier over time.
that you're versatile in the roles that you're willing to play. I mean, that's if you lock yourself into one thing and you're like, this is because there's personal bias that goes into it as well, and you think of it from the standpoint of I will not play this character because whatever, I have some affinity to this or that or whatever it happens to be. Then it becomes more challenging for you to try to do that, to try to be able to jump into whatever role is presented or needed at the time. So don't be afraid to play whatever. You know what I mean? It's a character. You're role playing. It's RP. You're telling a story. It's not a reflection on you. So that's my soapbox speech for today.
All right, well, that got serious real dang quick.
Sorry.
All right. Well,
Way to bring down the mood, man.
I know.
that said, though, as Greg mentioned, this was a small plug for our The Walking Dead series that we have been running for, what is it, a couple months now?
Well, yeah, we started the 14th of December was the first time that we did a stream for it. So, yes.
Yeah. So a month.
Yep.
A month, yeah.
Episode 3 is going to be this coming Saturday night. So get ready for that.
Make sure you got your popcorn, your warm blankets,
And maybe some tissues. No, I don't know.
Lock your doors.
Maybe, maybe.
Grab your lightsabers.
grab your lightsabers.
That's the thing is, I don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, who knows?
Nope.
There's definitely some interesting things in front of you guys.
Yes.
That said, I believe we can call episode 82 of the epilogue closed. Before we go, we got a couple of things. Greg, I know you might want to plug GaryCon coming up.
Absolutely. So yeah, GaryCon 2025. If you are planning on attending, fantastic. 2 members of the community here are going to be running games at GaryCon. I'll be at GaryCon this year running Cyberpunk, and I'm also going to be running a couple of sessions of The Walking Dead. So you have an opportunity to sit down at the table with myself and probably a couple other members of the community that are also going to be at GaryCon. And hey, we can do some tabletop face to face. And I'm very much looking forward to meeting you if you're there. And then Darkpawn is also going to be running some Alien there as well. So I'll be running Cyberpunk, and the Cyberpunk game that it's Cyberpunk Red. Last year for GaryCon, I ran a 4-part series. We're calling it Beyond the Wall. This year we're going to run the next 4 installments of that. So 5, 6, 7, and 8. And it's 1 a day as you go through the weekend. You don't have to be in all of them. So if you can only catch one, then by all means, go ahead and catch one. But if you can be in all 4, hey, it's a lot of fun. And, everybody that I've had at that table loves the story. So try it out.
You'll get to take part in a story that actually started out as a private game, a personal game. Yeah. Played as good times.
Yeah.
Good times.
Mean people made me run the damn thing again. But anyway.
So next week for episode 83 of the update log, I believe we're doing some more stuff with regards to The Walking Dead. Are we not, Greg?
Yes. For next week? Is that for next Wednesday?
Yeah, next week. Yeah, next Wednesday.
We can. Absolutely.
Okay. Right. Yeah, it's up to y'all. I mean, I had fun doing this. I think there's a couple more things we can delve into in terms of the storytelling piece regards to this system.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, because we haven't even talked about the Haven.
True.
We did a little bit.
A little bit, but like there's a whole sheet for that.
We didn't create a Haven. We could do that.
Oh.
Exactly.
Yeah, there is a whole system behind that. So let's do that. Let's sit down and create a Haven. Jedi headquarters. Here we come.
Starfleet Central.
Starfleet Central. There you go.
Jedi Temple on Coruscant. Thank you very much. Okay. I do prefer Star Wars more than I like Star Trek, but I like both.
I'm down with it.
Catherine Janeway was one of my first crushes. If you know, you know.
Okay, so
I mean,
7
I
of
don't
9.
judge. I was always a Picard girl.
7 of 9.
Catherine Jane. So, yeah, 7 of 9. Catherine Janeway.
To Paul.
Does that mean we want to push off my germ theory?
Oh yeah,
again?
we never dived into that one.
No,
No, I was waiting for an opportune moment.
Well, let's save that for next week as well.
Okay.
Are you going to join us next week?
Sure, I can.
So let's do that. That'll be part of the plan. We'll do germ theory and we'll do Havens.
And we'll give
and whatever other craziness
Trekkie,
comes up.
We'll give our Trekkie and our Jedi a place to lay their nerdly heads.
Absolutely. Yes.
Complete with Jedi and Star Wars themed bedspread.
I mean, because they travel with them.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, they're card carrying members of the Jedi Knight Club and Starfleet.
Wondering,
Mhm.
the update log shows live at 8 p.m. EST, 7 p.m. EST, or whatever time zone applies to you, every Wednesday night.
Absolutely. I think with that, we are done, right?
Yeah, we're good to go.
All right. So thank you everybody for joining us tonight. Hopefully you had fun. And we look forward to seeing you come back because that's what this is all about.
Yep. And if you haven't hit that follow button yet, be sure
Please
you
do.
follow the channel so you get notifications when the update log goes live.
And join our Discord. The links are in either in the in the chat or on the Razzmatazz page, and that way Roxy said you'll be kept up to date on things going on, updates on when we go live, and special episodes and whatnot.
All right. And don't
But
forget, join us this coming Saturday. This
that's right.
coming
Yes.
Saturday, 6 p.m. Same bat time, same bat place. No, it'll be it'll be 6 p.m. here on the Razzmatazz channel, and we will be streaming episode 3 of Wildfire, which is our Walking Dead story.
All right, guys. Well, you guys have a good night and a great rest of your week.
All right. Have a good night, guys. Thank